Welcome to Kahanis Golden Bytes. So, what I'm going to do in this series is cover finance topics for non finance people. So, basically, financial aspects for people who don't have a finance background, who don't work for a finance company either. So, even if you have a background, you could be working for a finance company or the financial sector. It's not, you can listen to it, but it's best suited for, it's made simply for those who are not working in a financial services background. Okay, so finance for non-finance people. So I'm going to be covering terms, concepts, and topics that are simple to understand. That's the intention, to try and make it simple. Okay, so I just want to tell you all that as I share some lists, some examples, these are not meant to be exhaustive. These are just, to try and highlight some aspects of what I'm trying to say. It's not a teaching course, and it's meant for people that could be useful for people from a, as I mentioned earlier, non-finance background. Meant to be useful. And today's topic that I'm going to speak about is the power of compounding. Now let's see what it is. So today, a lot of y'all could be young, maybe older, but young definitely. Advantage of time is definitely there. Some of y'all could be working, y'all may be having responsibilities, may or may not. Financial knowledge awareness, y'all may have it, may not have it. Some a little more, some a little less. But that's today's situation in all likelihood. The future, you are definitely going to be older. Absolutely right. And possible income breaks going forward, job changes. Even before this COVID situation, that was a reality. Disruptions are taking place all the time. If you take, for example, Paytm, they're changing the banking and the credit card industry. So the people who are already working in the banking industry and credit card industry, there could be some changes in some people's jobs because of the nature of this new industry kicking in. And Paytm is just one of the companies. And Paytm once again is just in part of one of the several industries that are that are coming up, and even existing businesses are reorganizing, disrupting themselves. Forget the industry. So changes are happening all the time, and going forward, they're going to happen more. New regulations are coming into play, which will make a lot of things different. Now, am I trying to scare you? Certainly not. That's not the intention. The intention is primarily to be better prepared. You're better prepared to face the future. Future will, it only means you're going to have lesser time and more responsibilities. That's a given, whichever stage of life you are in. If you think you have a lot of responsibilities, time ahead will be older and be faced with more responsibilities. That's a fact of life. Financial awareness, you may or may not have it today, but going forward, it will be a requirement for your own good, for your own good. Now, wealth creation, is it possible? Of course, it is. By staying informed with integrity, you can do it, and without sophisticated knowledge. Now, you may have attained or keep improving your financial knowledge, which is great and which you must do. I would encourage you to keep doing that all the time because things are going to keep on changing, they're going to keep on evolving. But even without that, through some methods, you can still do that. You can still create wealth. Now let's take an example. Suppose you're at the age of 20-year-old. We invest, say, 1,000 rupees per annum, 5% interest. Now 1,000 rupees per annum. It's not per week or per month. Okay, per annum. पूरे साल में 1,000 रुपए. And the percentage of interest 5%. You start at the age of 20. You invest for 13 years till the age of 33. So how much have you put in? You've invested or put aside or parked aside for 13 years 1,000 rupees each. So that's simple mathematics, 13,000 rupees. Now this 13,000 rupees, it however is actually 20,579 rupees by the time you are 33, and I'll explain that in a moment. Some of y'all would have already got it. Now, what I'm telling y'all is just stop investing. After 13 years, just stop investing any more amount. Okay, just to highlight the example. By the time you're 60, the 20,579 would have grown to 76,829 rupees. How? I've just put a table here. So while you're 20 years old, as we said in this example, you put in 1,000 rupees, 5% is the interest. It means 50 rupees it gains. So by the end of the year, you have 1,050 rupees. Year 2, you put in 1,000 rupees at the beginning of the year plus 1,050. So 2,050 at 5% interest would, gives you 103. So the amount is 2,153 at the end of 2 years. Likewise, third year, 2,153 plus the 1,000 rupees, 3,153. 5% interest is 158. It'll add up to 3,310. So likewise, it's all very simply put. You can also do the calculation separately. You start at 20 till the age of 33. That's 13 years. You would have made 20,579, because even after that's the amount you get 20,579, even though you've put 13,000 rupees over a 13-year period. 13,000 not in one go, but over a 13-year period. Now let's take another example. At the age of 30, the same amount, 1,000 rupees, earning 5% per annum. So 1,000 rupees per annum, not per week, not per month. Now let's say we change it slightly more. At the age of 30, you invest not for 13 years, but till the age of 60. So 30 years, you actually put in 1,000 rupees each. So 13,000, that's 30,000 rupees. What does this become? At the age of 60, this amount comes to 74,299, exactly the same way. So at the age of 30, you put in 1,000 rupees, 5%. Here there's 50. At the end of the year, you have 1,000 plus 50 rupees as interest. It becomes 1,050. Year 2, just like the previous case, 20,050 rupees, because 1,050 plus 1,000, 5% interest, 103, 2,153. Year 3 again, 2,153 plus 1,000 rupees is 3,153. Gets an interest of 5%, becomes 158. It becomes 3,310. So 3,353 plus 158 becomes 3,310. So likewise, you do it till the age of 60, and this becomes 74,299. It's all, there. I've just put a tables for quick reference. That's all. I'm sure if you want, you can do the calculation separately. Now let's do the comparison between the two. 1,000 rupees in both cases, 5% interest in both cases. That's a standard. Helps us compare. Now, in one case, you put 13,000 rupees in total over 13 years. The other one, you put 30,000 rupees over 30,000 to 30 years. So 13,000 total money parked aside or invested somewhere. And here, 30,000 is what you had to keep aside. In this example, you kept aside or you invested. Now, by the age of 60, in one case you get 74,299, while in this case, in spite of putting much, much less, that is 13,000, you get 76,829. This is still more than this amount. This is the power, as you can see very clearly, by starting early. The difference is 30, and one is started at 20. Because you started early at the age of 20, even a 13-year investment gave you a much higher return than 30 years of investment starting a little late. When you see 76,829 is more than 74,299. Just it clearly demonstrates the benefit of starting early. Now let's take another example here. We'll talk about investing till the age of 60. Till the age of 60. So again, the same amount, 1,000 rupees per annum, 5% interest. Now we start at 20 and we go all the way till 60. So We invest for 40 years, 1,000 rupees each. Simple mathematics again, 40,000 rupees. At the end of 40 years, when you age 60, you would have kept aside 40,000. However, at the age of 60, the amount would be 134,232. So 1,34,232 rupees. A table on the side. I know it must be very, very small. You can't see it, but just to show that it's been calculated and you can calculate it separately. Now let's take a similar example once again. Till the age of 60, 1,000 rupees, 5% per annum, but you start not at 20, but you start at the age of 30. So invest for 30 years, 30 into 1,000, 30,000 you've kept aside or invested. You get, when you're 60 years old, 74,292, 299. Again, the table is kept aside here. It's simple here. It's all given here. 74,299. This is just for illustration so that you can compare. Now let's compare these two till the age of 60. So in both these cases, the amounts were the same. Now if you notice in the first example, we invested for 40 years. 40 years. So 40,000 was the outflow. And in the second case, it was 30,000 was the outflow. So if you take just the amount you kept aside or parked, 30,000 versus 40,000, 30,000 is 75% of 40,000. So you invested 75,000 of this, when you compare these two amounts. So 75% of 40,000 is 30,000. However, when you compare the two returns, 74,299 to 134,232, 1,34,232, you'll notice that 74,299 is not 75% of this return, but actually 55% of 134,232. So though you put aside or invested 75% of the amount, in terms of just returns, when you compare just the two returns, it is just 55% of the returns here. So once again, the benefit of starting early. One you started at 20 and the other at 30. So what does it teach us? Let money multiply. Let money multiply. So what do we learn from this? Let's start early. Start saving. Start dreaming, of course. Let money multiply for you. And anybody in the finance world, they will tell you, let money work hard. Let money sweat for you. Let money do the hard work. So, when you invested, say, at the age of 20 or 30, you parked it aside. So money was earning interest that you kept aside. So that is money working hard for you. You are anyway trying to earn more money and live life as things are thrown at you. But money which is kept or invested somewhere is also working hard to make sure that you get the best returns. So that's working hard for you, even while you are not necessarily doing anything with that money, but keeping it somewhere. So now just ask yourself, did you need to be an MBA for this finance or a chartered accountant to understand this? The intention was to just make it simple for you. Now I want you to ask yourself, was this a little bit informative? Did you learn something new or different? You think some friend, some colleague, children or parent, depending on what stage of life you are, do you think they would benefit from this knowledge? And what you have heard today, would it help you maybe sometime, some phase of life? If the answer to any of the above is yes or maybe, then go ahead, share this video, like, comment, subscribe, and watch other videos that I'll put up. Take a look at those. And if you want me to cover some other topic, I will be covering some other topics too over a period of time. But if you think that I should cover something specifically that you're interested in, and if there's sufficient, demand for it or a request for it, just put it in the comment section, and I'll keep on taking a look, and I'll make sure if I'm not covering it, I do bring it up in some way to share it with you all. And with that, all I have to say is if for staying here, spending time, thank you. Thank you very much. And I hope you've learned something useful. And all the best. We make money, plenty of money, and may you grow and stay happy. Stay safe, stay